Hello and welcome back to more AEW on TEW 2020. We are here on the first week of May, so we continue our road to Double or Nothing at the end of the month. We start off with our Dark and our Dynamite. Dark, of course, starts off with BTE. I'm doing the heel turn now because I forgot to do those in the last week. That was partially... That was the main thing that was meant to happen with the segment where they super kicked everyone. So, just do the heel turn now, goes well, all fine. And just a bunch of the people, a bunch of wrestlers are seen at a gym, they're working out. Willpower and Dallas Mantel get a special note, as does Jordan Grace. Soon enough, Scott Steiner's voice comes in, and Big Papa Pump himself shows up to get his 3 students, of course these latter 3 here, to continue working out and work out harder. Jordan Grace finishes her own workout before she gets up and smiles. She then pokes Steiner on the shoulder, and they talk for a bit. Of course, Jordan Grace, she's gone by the nickname of Thick Mama Pump, has been associated with Steiner for a little bit, for quite a while actually, I'm pretty sure. Still not 100% certain on the relationship between Grace and Steiner, but it's fine. And eventually they do flex a little bit before they hug each other, and Jordan heads off. Steiner then notices that Mantello stopped his working out while Steiner and Grace were talking, so Steiner tells Mantello to do even more work, double what he had before. After this, Garza Jr. is walking backstage, and he looks even fancier than normal. He walks up beside Diamante, who seems to be stretching and looking for something. Garza begins flirting with her, and eventually he asks if she would want to get dinner with him. Diamante says yes, which Garza seems to act a bit dejected before he realizes, wait a minute, she actually said yes, and, he starts going with her, but Diamante says that can't be on certain days because she's going on dates with her fiancé, which Garza looks a little bit upset by, but hey, he still managed to pick someone up. Of course, Diamante, recently in-game got engaged to Kira Hogan, so... of course, those two now in the same company as each other. It's nice to see. Dark itself starts off with Shotzi Blackheart defeating Max the Impaler. Then Jeff Cobb defeats El Lindemann. Brutality Inc.'s Dijak, Xavier, and Wentz defeat the Hootie Mouse, Sean Dean, and King Cash. Ashley Flair defeats cheerleader Melissa. Proud and Powerful defeat Benjamin Carter and Warhorse. Then Britt Baker hosts the waiting room with her guests being the Hardy Brothers. Matt and Jeff come to the set, and Matt is noticeably on crutches. He has a knee brace on, and they get a huge pop because, they're legends of the business. Britt asks them about Jeff's recent arrival and his poor form of matches to start off, as well as what happened to Matt's knee. Matt says that he unfortunately shattered his knee in a traipse with the multiverse. The multifarious Matt Hardy is ready to continue to teach others. Jeff, however, is a little bit more upset about the questions asked of him. Says that he unfortunately he's not in his prime anymore, but while he was very proud of his match against Darby, he doesn't want to be seen as someone who just constantly loses on the big stage in AEW, and he actually announces on the waiting room that he wants to challenge Pac for the TNT title at Double or Nothing, of course pending Tony Khan's approval. Matt Hardy, he actually shattered his knee at a house show. He'll be out for over a year in terms of in-ring action, but honestly, that's kind of fine. I was moving Matt Hardy more towards a managerial role anyways, of course with the stuff with Future, stuff with Top Flight. Matt Hardy just overall going to be pretty good with that, but he won't be in in-ring action for at least a year. Maybe he just retires from this in general, not sure yet. After this, the Dark Order's all their numbered people defeats Fuego del Sol, the Cross Brothers, Ralph Hall, and Pineapple Pete. 8 pins. Ralph Hall. Pretty terrible performance all around, but, I wanted to get some matches for the Dark Order. Sammy Guevara then defeats Luchasaurus, and Jake Hager defeats Dustin Rhodes to finish off our show of Dark. Dynamite begins with women's action as Tenille Dashwood defeats Kira Hogan in just under 11 minutes. And afterwards, Tenille and Deonna both have mics after the match, and they begin to demand that Kana doesn't forget them as being potential contenders for the Women's Championship. They mention how they both are technically undefeated on the year, and that them teaming with Kana in the past should mean that they have higher priority in being considered for the championship match. Kana's music then plays as she steps onto the ramp. She says that whatever the challenge is, it's not her choice, nor does she really care, because Tony Khan is the only one that can decide that. You know, probably says some things where it's like, you know, no matter who it is that goes against me, they don't really have a chance at beating me anyways, because, you know, it's Kana, and she's really good at wrestling, fun fact. But, you know, just saying that only Tony Khan can really make that decision, but the VIPs, they look a little bit angry. They kind of maybe discuss a little bit to themselves before they head backstage as well. And also backstage, we have The Vision. Matt Sydal trying to get Lance Archer to do some breathing exercises. They're interrupted by the Motor City Machine Guns, mainly with Alex Shelley getting nose-to-nose with Matt Sydal. Shelley says, "It's been a while, hasn't it? Since Bound by Honor, when you beat me for the Ring of Honor world title. Don't think I haven't forgotten. Don't think I'm just going to let you go, especially now that you and Lance there are in the tag division. We're the tag experts, not you, Matt. Just remember that." And Shelley and Sabin leave before Lance Archer can do anything to them. Earlier on in the year, right now, Matt Sydal is the Ring of Honor World Champion. Won that in, I want to say, late November. I don't remember exactly when Sydal won the title, but it was, he is still the Ring of Honor World Champion, and at Bound by Honor, I think that was the pay-per-view for it, he did beat Alex Shelley in singles action to retain the title. So, Shelley, he's remembering that, and, well, I mean, this is already a great startup. I mean, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Motor City Machine Guns have been a fantastic tag team their entire career. Matt Sydal and Lance Archer are fantastic. I mean, they have excellent chemistry, so this will hopefully be a pretty good feud. After this, Team Angle defeats TNT when Zack Sabre Jr. submits Terrell Dudley with an orienteering with Napalm Death, whatever that is. Terrence Dudley gets a broken wrist. That's honestly kind of fine. Yeah. Then Taz comes to the ramp, accompanied by his entire team. Team Angle prepares themselves for a fight, but Taz doesn't seem to want to get involved. Then Taz says, Kurt, you've always had the numbers advantage over me when it comes to our respective teams. Let me just tell you, let me just spoil you a little bit. Once it reaches Double or Nothing, all of that's gonna change. At Double or Nothing, you're gonna see the newest member of Team Taz at the Casino Battle Royale. You better be ready for it, because we ain't gonna be letting up. So, yes, we do actually have a few new signings coming in at Double or Nothing. Two very big signings coming in. We will get a little bit of teasing on the other one in a little bit, but we've already confirmed that one of these surprises will be a member of Team Taz and will debut at the Casino Battle Royale. After this, we actually catch up with Tenille Dashwood and Deonna Purrazzo, who are knocking on Tony Khan's door. Tony opens the door, and Tenille and Deonna complain to them about not really getting any matches or about not getting a shot at the title. Tony apologizes and says that he's getting some important help for his executive committee, and that okay. The ability of people to get matches will be improved following Double or Nothing, as the newest executive vice president will not arrive until then. Tenille and Deonna are very obviously upset about this, but MJF comes by, he pulls him back, and he says that, hey, it doesn't really matter. We have the leverage because I'm the world champ. So if Tony lies about this, MJF's just not going to defend the title. Tony apologizes again and says that the new EVP will be incredibly important. Right now, the EVPs technically are Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Cody Rhodes. We are actually adding, as well as we also have a few people who we are kayfabing as executive managers as well. Gail Kim is an assistant. Brandy Rhodes is also part of the executive team. But Tony Khan is bringing in yet another person for the executive committee that will, in kayfabe, take over the role as head booker. While, I mean, like, Cody, he's still, Cody's been our player character this entire time. He is our booker and technically the owner, because I don't want to deal with owner goals and the owner stopping me from trying to hire people. But Cody is our booker, but in kayfabe, that is going to change. Of course, I will still be Cody as our player character, but that's all fine. After this, Midnight Dynamite defeats Top Flight. It's a very quick match. Afterwards, Matt Hardy comes to ringside, and he starts to talk to Top Flight, much as he did with The Future some weeks ago. For unlike The Future, Top Flight actually agrees to head backstage with Matt Hardy, instead of Matt Hardy having to follow them. This week we have a hype package shown for the Lucha Bros, narrated by Eddie Kingston. And he talks about all the accomplishments of the Lucha Bros, noting how they've dominated every single promotion they have been in, how they've won a ton of tag titles, and that despite the claims of the Young Bucks or FTR, the Lucha Bros actually are the best team in the world, because both of them are in the top 100. Penta is number 38, and Phoenix is number 63, I believe it is. Well, both members of Private Party are not even in the top 500. Of course, TEW, it does have the top 500 wrestlers, so there's that. And because of the fact that, you know, both of the Lucha Bros are so good individually, and because they still do have great chemistry together, it's obvious that they will win, and they will eventually take the titles off of FTR because they've beaten all possible competition. I don't actually think they faced off against FTR yet. I don't recall. We'll have to find out eventually. Again, very quick match. This should have boosted a storyline, but it didn't. It was meant to boost the Garza versus Sting storyline, but oh well. Then we see Renee backstage with the Private Party, about interviewing them about their main event match. Talk about how it's true that the Lucha Bros may be better than them on paper. When the going gets tough, they have always held up when it matters. We do have a loss on the records. It's to the tag champs at the New Year's special, while the Lucha Bros lost in 8-man tag to Brutality Inc. The Private Party know that while they are the underdogs, they're used to being the underdogs. So they'll just have to keep doing what they do, and hopefully they'll try to win the main event. Jeff Hardy then defeats Brian Pillman Jr. And then after the match, Pac runs out to ringside and begins to easily beat down Jeff Hardy. Pac is about to hit one of his black arrows when El Hijo del Vikingo runs out from the crowd and makes his way up to Pac on the top rope. He hits him with a Spanish fly. Dijak and the Hit Squad soon arrive as Vikingo helps Jeff Hardy out of the ring to keep him safe. Of course, Vikingo, our winner of the youth tournament, lost in a fantastic match against Pac, but he still was promised a full-time contract, and so he has that, making his re-debut after being double foot stomped by Dijak in the Spring Stampede. After this, the announcers announced 4 new entrants to the Casino Battle Royale, as Miro, Cody Rhodes, Brody Lee, and Orange Cassidy have been confirmed for the match, of course, barring an injury. After this, Hikaru Shida defeats Cynthia Regal. And then Shida gets up from a match, but it was a very easy match for Shida. But before she can make any declarations, any proclamations for her intent to go for the title, AJ Mendez enters the ring and she hits Shida over the back with the kendo stick that Shida always brings to the ring. Anyways, Mendez keeps talking smack to Shida as Shida is laying on the ground, and she still does hit her a few more times with the kendo stick before Mendez eventually says that Shida has nothing she can do in order to get a title match before Mendez gets one of her own. Mendez, I don't think she's undefeated in the year, but she's had a bunch of wins on Dark, and we are going to slowly start looking for actually using the records. Our new quote-unquote head booker will be kind of the catalyst for actually doing things a little bit better, hopefully. Again, I'm still not the best booker. I'm going to say that straight up. I'm not fantastic. I could definitely do way better with my storylines and with actually booking people on matches properly, but still, hopefully, we can kayfabe me getting slowly better with the addition of a new executive to the AEW team. After this, Chris Jericho seen backstage, and he's sipping on a glass of the bubbly when the cameras approach him. Because everybody's talking about Kota Ibushi like he's the greatest of all time. It's a bit insulting when he's just an underling to the champion, Chris Jericho. I am a 2-time Wrestler of the Year. I have won more championships than Kota has won dollars or yen or whatever it is that he wants to be paid with. Sure, Kota's impressive, but impressive isn't enough to be the greatest to beat the greatest of all time, the demigod le champion, Chris Jericho. So Jericho is going to have a match against Kota Ibushi at Double or Nothing, and so Jericho saying, hey, I have a lot more experience, I have so many more championships than Kota has. A lot of Kota's championships are tag team championships, actually, that's I'm pretty sure. And Jericho, he's won a lot of individual championships by himself. He has won he was the inaugural AEW World Champion. Probably even mentioned that in the promo. Well, Kota, not really one that wins too many titles. But, either way, Jericho, he's saying that Kota has no chance against him. And in our main event, the Private Party defeats the Lucha Bros when Isaiah Cassidy pins Penta El Sierra Miedo with a gin and juice. Admittedly, the Lucha Bros did do better, but still, Private Party having a fantastic match, an 82 rating. 82 is, I believe, tied for our best match of all time. We might have had one match get better than that recently, but it is tied for our best match of all time, so still very happy with that. And we finish the show with Private Party confirmed to be the ones to take on FTR at Double or Nothing, so we can start building with specifically the focus on Private Party versus FTR. Again, I do need to work on a little bit more storyline, get better with storylines, but it's fine. We should be good to go, and ready to go for next week.